Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox. Today we are talking about Scalar, released October 20th, 2004 for the PS2 and Xbox, and it was also released not too long after on the GameCube. It was published by Global Star Software and developed by Artificial Mind and Movement, the team you might know better as Behaviour today, the developers of Dead by Daylight. Scalar is a 3D platformer that is targeted primarily at kids and has you playing as a shape-shifting lizard in an alternate reality tasked with saving the multiverse. This game was actually a recommendation from a YouTube channel member, and that is Maritime Steak 85. Thank you for the recommendation. And honestly, I have only ever seen the cover of this game, and I had no idea what it was even like. So I was excited to check out something fresh. So let's hop into Scalar. In Scalar, you step into the shoes of Bobby Scalar Jenkins, a young child who stumbles upon a plot involving 5 shape-shifting reptilian creatures aiming to conquer various worlds while disguised as humans. As Scalar, you enter one of the portals that they have left behind, and you are transported to a lizard-inhabited realm. And also, you become a lizard, and here you embark on a mission to thwart their plans. During your journey, you encounter another lizard named Leon who takes you away on his flying creature to diverse lands, all in the pursuit of saving lizard eggs. Scalar on the surface may appear to cater to a younger audience, yet it weaves a rather ambitious story with reptilian conspiracies and a colorful rogues gallery. Each of these bad guys is introduced very early in the game, and it almost assumes that players should already be familiar with them. There is little to no introduction. You get straight into the plot with this one, and this approach made me wonder if the game might be based on books or a TV show, but it appears that it's an attempt to create a franchise from the ground up. While I appreciate the concept and find the initial setup engaging, I do have to admit that my interest waned rather quickly. The game doesn't really provide great development in its plot during a lot of the segments focused on saving lizard eggs. This leaves the narrative feeling somewhat undercooked. However, when the storyline does come to the forefront, it's genuinely interesting. I just wish there was more of a consistent plot development. I will say, what is present here could be quite appealing to a younger gamer seeking an experience reminiscent of a quirky cartoon, and for what it is, I had fun with it. Scalar closely follows the 6th generation platformer formula. It bears a striking resemblance to titles like Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, and the Spyro series. As the titular lizard, your adventures involve hopping and sliding across various biomes while collecting eggs and orbs, making it a classic collectathon that doesn't venture very far into uncharted territory. However, it does bring an interesting twist by giving significance to the orbs you collect in terms of player progression, featuring an RPG-like system that allows you to invest those orbs into improving your attacks and increasing your health. This game incentivizes you through exploration, even if it's not mandatory for completing the game. And when it comes to gameplay, Scalar impresses with its fluid mechanics. Jumping feels precise and enjoyable, movement is smooth, and Scalar's entire moveset is well executed. One standout ability is his tongue attack, which allows him to strike enemies from a distance, becoming increasingly useful as the game went on. The game excels in making your deaths feel like your own responsibility, rather than the fault of your controls. One of the best parts of this game is Scalar's ability to transform into different creatures. It's reminiscent of Cameo, which includes a rolling spike character, which is just like the one in that game. Each form is used exclusively in specific levels, and it complements the level design by incorporating puzzles that require to utilize this power. For instance, you might need to throw bombs strategically or employ your rolling form to shatter glass. One of the most transformative abilities is the power to morph into a flying manta, which comes in handy for gliding through rings and navigating challenging race courses. This comes late in the game, and it honestly added a lot of enjoyment. These elements add depth to the gameplay, and it's wise to limit the acquisition of powers to just one per level. It prevents the gameplay from feeling bogged down by constant form switching. However, one aspect that falls short in Scalar is the level design. While the levels are serviceable with well-placed platforms and height variations that suit the game's mechanics, they lack the variety needed to keep things fresh throughout the 7 hours of playtime. To be honest, I feel like other than a few levels with interesting powers, the gameplay remains relatively consistent from one level to the next. These levels typically involve just jumping around until you get locked in the combat with multiple enemies in an enclosed area, along with plenty of vine grinding sections. Just like Sonic grinding rails, there are platforming sections that require you to hop around and dodge obstacles. It plays fine, but each level seems to be filled with these, and it becomes less fun and more tedious than anything. The game does make an effort to alleviate this monotony by introducing exciting race levels that provide a welcome change of pace. Overall, I'd say Scalar is enjoyable to play. Its combat and controls maintain the entertainment factor throughout the entire playthrough, even if the variety in levels isn't quite there and you catch yourself just repeating the same things over and over. The game boasts well-defined visuals, rendering backgrounds and main characters in crisp detail. Scalar's animations are dynamic, and it enhances the gaming experience with well-designed jumps and combat moves. His character model is also expressive and perfectly suits the game's vibe. The non-game cutscenes, although infrequent, appear less visually nice. Luckily, the game mostly uses in-game cutscenes, which showcases the game's quality and design. The game's levels are visually appealing. There is a lot of details. Artificial mind and movement have succeeded in creating a surreal world with a unique and organic feel. The amount of vegetation and vibrant greens on each level contributes to this organic feeling. However, the game falters in level design repetition. While a few levels attempt significant visual changes, most adhere to a similar art design. It ends up having a game that lacks variety. Although the game explores an alternate reality, it fails to convey a true sense of globetrotting. On the bright side, enemy designs are a standout. Each enemy exhibits distinct characteristics and appearances, although there is some repetition across levels. The game's charm lies in defeating these creatures to acquire their unique powers, with each character visually standing out. Despite this, the game could benefit from more visual variety to fully enhance the game. The audio in Scalar serves its purpose well, even though it doesn't particularly stand out. The voice acting mirrors the style of a classic cartoon, with Scalar's dialogue often feeling like late 90s attitude cartoons. While some might find it a bit annoying, it felt suitable for the game's era. This level of voice acting is pretty much what you'd expect from this type of game. You meet multiple characters, all fitting within some type of archetype, all voice acted fairly well. The music, on the other hand, is neither impressive nor bad. It maintains a constant drum beat with tribal undertones, and it has subtle electronic influences. It effectively matches the game's mood, but I didn't encounter any tracks that I'd want to listen to by itself. However, it serves its purpose well as background music during gameplay. Combined with background bug noises and your kicks and slaps, the audio is effective, and never once did it stand out to me as anything bad. The audio does a good job of building the game world and setting the mood. In summary, while Scalar didn't completely blow me away, it did offer an enjoyable experience. It may lack the diversity seen in some of its contemporaries when it comes to gameplay and level design, but it holds its ground as a straightforward 3D platformer. It's a relatively short collectathon that offers a fun and fluid experience of running and jumping. While it might not reach the same heights as other games, it's a worthwhile game. If you decide to give this game a shot, I believe you'll be pleasantly surprised. Also, I think this is a perfect pick for a younger audience, and they would really appreciate it. In my opinion, Scalar is a fun and worthwhile game, and it's well worth exploring. And on my original Xbox ranking list, it goes in at number 38. I would rather go back and replay this over NASCAR Thunder 2002, but I do think I was able to get a lot more fun and replayability out of Thrillville. But that wraps it up for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like as well as subscribe to keep up with the retro Xbox content. Also, leave a comment if you're interested in this game or if you've played it before. Any memories, I'd love to hear from you. And also, a quick shout out to all of my YouTube channel members. Thank you very much. And I'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.